Hello everyone, welcome to Platonic Love Stories with another story. Let's move on to the video. Ethan never thought his life would change so drastically when his father remarried. He was used to it being just the two of them, and now he suddenly had a stepmother and, more importantly, a stepsister, Ava. They were both 18, finishing high school, and forced to live under the same roof. Ava, with her sharp wit and independent nature, wasn't exactly thrilled either. She had spent her life with just her mom, and now she had a new stepfather and an unfamiliar home. From the moment she moved in, there was an unspoken tension between her and Ethan. Not of hate, but of something neither of them could understand yet. Despite their initial awkwardness, life had a way of pushing them together. They shared late-night kitchen raids, long drives when their parents argued, and inside jokes no one else understood. One night, when Ava was feeling down after a bad breakup, Ethan found her sitting on the porch, hugging her knees. "Guys are idiots," he said, sitting next to her. She scoffed. "You should know. You are one." "Fair," he chuckled. "But I wouldn't treat you like that." She turned to look at him, her eyes searching for something in his. In that moment, she saw a different side of him, not just her stepbrother, but someone who genuinely cared. As the months passed, their bond grew stronger. They weren't just step-siblings, they were best friends. But with that closeness came something neither of them wanted to admit, an attraction that wasn't supposed to exist. It happened on a quiet evening. They were watching a movie together, the room dimly lit. Ava had fallen asleep, her head resting on Ethan's shoulder. He didn't move. He liked the warmth of her close. When she woke up and found their faces just inches apart, neither of them moved. The air was thick with tension. Ava's lips parted slightly as she whispered, "Ethan," and before they knew it, he leaned in. The kiss was soft, hesitant, but it set off a fire neither of them could put out. Guilt and desire wrestled within them. They knew society wouldn't approve, their parents would be furious. But what they felt for each other wasn't something they could ignore. They tried to act normal, but every stolen glance and accidental touch made it harder to resist. They started meeting in secret. Late-night conversations turned into lingering touches, whispered confessions, and stolen kisses behind closed doors. But secrets never stay hidden forever. One evening, their mother walked in on them holding hands, their fingers intertwined in a way no siblings should. The shock on her face was instant. "What is this?" she asked, her voice trembling. Ava pulled her hand away as if burned, but Ethan stood firm. "We didn't plan this," he admitted, "but we love each other." The house exploded into chaos. Their parents were furious, threatening to separate them. But love wasn't something they could turn off like a switch. For weeks, they were forced apart. Their parents tried everything: distraction, strict rules, even considering sending Ava to a different college. But love doesn't fade with distance. It only grows stronger. One night, Ava sneaked into Ethan's room, her eyes filled with unshed tears. "I can't pretend anymore," she whispered. "Then don't," Ethan said, pulling her close. Their love was complicated, messy, and forbidden, but it was real, and that was enough. Years later, after moving out and proving their love was more than just infatuation, their parents slowly came to accept it. It wasn't easy, but love rarely is. Ethan and Ava built a life together, not as step-siblings, but as two people who found love in the most unexpected place. Because sometimes the heart doesn't follow the rules. It makes its own. Years had passed since that chaotic night when their secret had been exposed. Ethan and Ava had been forced apart, their love condemned as something unnatural. Their parents tried everything, separating them, setting strict rules, even therapy sessions to make them understand that what they felt was wrong. But love isn't something you can erase. The first year was the hardest. Ava had moved out for college, and Ethan followed shortly after. They were in different cities, under the watchful eyes of their parents, yet they never truly let go. Late-night calls turned into secret weekend meetups. Every moment together felt stolen, fragile, but fiercely real. By the time they graduated, the world around them had changed, but their love hadn't. They had built lives for themselves, independent from their family's expectations. And when Ava received her first job offer in a city far from home, Ethan didn't hesitate. "I'm coming with you," he told her, his voice steady. Ava hesitated, knowing what it meant. "Are you sure? If we do this, there's no going back." He smiled. "I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. With you." And so, they left. For a while, they lived in quiet defiance, away from the judgment of family and the weight of their past. Their love was theirs alone, untainted by rules and restrictions. They built a home, a life filled with laughter, warmth, and the kind of love that only grows stronger with time. It took years, but eventually, their parents stopped fighting it. Time had softened their anger, and perhaps they had come to realize what Ethan and Ava had known all along. Love isn't defined by labels. It isn't dictated by society's expectations. It simply is. The first time Ava's mother visited their home, she looked around cautiously, taking in the pictures on the wall, the warmth in their eyes when they looked at each other. She sighed, her voice quiet but firm. "I may never fully understand," she admitted, "but if you're happy, that's all that matters." It wasn't approval, but it was enough. Years later, as Ethan and Ava stood hand in hand on a quiet beach, watching the sunset paint the sky in gold and crimson, they knew they had made the right choice. They had fought for this, and in the end, love had found its way.